All right, welcome. Consider this a critical intelligence briefing. The information we're about to cover is, well, let's just say it's time-sensitive, so let's get right to it.
So let's just start with this question right here. Because according to the material we're looking at, this isn't just some clever metaphor. It's the literal situation humanity finds itself in. A massive cosmic cycle is coming to a close, and graduation is on the table.
So here's the deal. We're at the very end of a 75,000-year cycle. And because of that, Earth and everyone on it are going through this huge planetary transition. It's basically an evaluation process, and it's called the harvest. It's all about determining who is ready to move on from our current level of consciousness, what the source calls third density, to the next level up.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at these projected numbers. The vast majority, something like 70%, are expected to repeat this whole third density cycle all over again, just on a different planet. And look, this isn't about failure, okay? It's not a punishment. It just means more learning is needed. The real key here isn't to judge, but to understand what it actually takes to graduate.
And here are the criteria. It's actually pretty straightforward. There are two, and only two paths to graduation, two ways to polarize your consciousness. You can go for the positive path, which is called service to others. This one requires you to be just over half, 51%, oriented towards helping others. Or you can choose the negative path, service to self. But this one's a lot harder. It demands an intense, almost total dedication. We're talking 95% to serving yourself above absolutely everything else. It means seeing every single person as a tool for your own control. And get this, your beliefs, your religion, what you think is moral, none of that matters. The only thing that counts is which way you choose to lean.
But here's the thing. You're not making this choice in a vacuum. Nope. There are forces out there whose entire job is to provide, well, resistance, to make the choice harder and therefore more meaningful. And that's the role of a group known as the Orion Group. You can think of them as the cosmic loyal opposition.
And they have a playbook. Their main strategies are pretty simple: fear and division. They amplify threats through non-stop media saturation. They create economic anxiety, and they are masters at engineering conflict, political, racial, you name it. Why? Because all that chaos lowers the collective vibe. It makes it way harder to choose unity and love. And it's basically a training program for the us versus them mindset that defines the service to self path.
On top of that, they deploy distraction and what you could call truth obscuration. It's the endless stream of entertainment, the addiction to being outraged about the next thing, and just flooding our world with so much conflicting information that nobody knows what to believe. It all serves one single purpose: to keep your consciousness focused outward. Because if you're constantly distracted and confused, you're probably not going to do the inner work you need to do to make a clear, conscious choice about who you are.
And believe it or not, this cosmic game, it has been played before, with absolutely devastating results. The history of our own cosmic neighbor Mars is a critical case study. It's a huge, flashing warning sign for the exact path Earth is on right now.
And this timeline just lays out the whole tragic story. Mars was once a thriving world, a lot like Earth. But, sound familiar? Increasing polarization between different groups led to a massive arms race. That escalated into full-blown planetary warfare, and they used weapons so devastating they literally stripped the atmosphere away, collapsing the entire biosphere and turning a beautiful, living world into the cold, red desert we see today.
So what's the crucial point? What's the lesson here? It's that technology without conscious spiritual development is a recipe for total planetary scale catastrophe. And the souls from Mars? Well, a whole lot of them were reincarnated right here on Earth to face the very same test all over again, the final exam. Can a civilization develop its consciousness faster than it develops its destructive technology? With AI, nuclear weapons, environmental collapse, we are living that exam as we speak.
But here's the good news. Unlike Mars, Earth is not alone in this test. There are massive support systems in place. Which brings us to the Allied forces, what's called the Confederation of Planets. And, it might even bring us to your own specific mission for being here. The source material points to a key group of assets on the ground, and they're called Wanderers. Now, these are souls from more evolved, higher-density realities who actually volunteered to incarnate here, right now. They came in with a kind of amnesia, forgetting who they really are, all to help humanity from the inside out. So if you've ever had that profound, deep-seated feeling of alienation, like you're just not from this place, this might really hit home for you. According to this briefing, that feeling isn't some flaw in your personality, it's a feature of your mission. It's like a homing beacon, reminding you that you didn't come here to fit in with the system. You came here to help it evolve.
And for when humanity as a whole is finally ready, there's a plan. A very structured, non-invasive protocol for making open contact already exists. It starts with a global announcement and an invitation, then moves to meetings with our chosen representatives, and finally a public introduction and sharing of technology. The whole plan is just sitting there waiting for us to give the green light.
Which brings us to the absolute heart of this entire briefing, the single most critical action required of every single individual on this planet. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is simply this: to polarize, to choose a side.
Polarity is just the direction you point your consciousness. And in this cosmic school, it is the only grade that matters. Inaction, indecision, trying to play both sides. What the source calls fence-sitting, well, that's the one choice that guarantees you have to repeat the class. It is not a valid option.
So to graduate into that positive fourth density reality, what does it take? You have to achieve a 51% orientation towards service to others. That's it. It just means that in the majority of your thoughts, your actions, your intentions, you are genuinely choosing the well-being of others. It's not about being a perfect saint. It's a challenging bar for sure, but it's designed to be achievable.
Now compare that to the negative path. That one requires a staggering 95% dedication to service to self. This path of control, of domination, it's actually so difficult to maintain, so counter to the natural flow of the universe towards unity, that very, very few people ever actually pull it off.
And in the end, there's no judgment from the cosmos about which path you take. Seriously, the negative path is seen as providing the contrast needed for choice, and the positive path serves to build unity. Both are valid ways for the universe to know itself. The only imperative, the only thing being asked of you, is to stop waiting, to choose. The briefing is now complete. The choice is yours.